Beefy. Nearfield subs. I'm contemplating using 5 monolith slim subs, one under each seat of my sectional sofa. Okay.
I guess that's the brand name.
I don't know.
Oh, is that like the love sack thing? Is that what that is?
Maybe. Versus my regular M and K subs, which fail to pressurize the massive volume of my open loft condo. Okay, so I do have a Nearfield sub. One thing to consider that I didn't consider when I set it up is that you think like, oh, if I put the sub close, then I'm just going to hear all the direct sound, right? I'm not going to have any interference because it's so close.
Oh yeah.
But actually, that sofa is going to start absorbing certain frequencies too. So even if you have a flat sub and you put it right up next to it, you may want to measure that still. Because in my case, I'm getting like a null because it's canceling something out immediately.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. I didn't expect that. Like, you may want to figure out how far that thing needs to be, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what would you say?
I would agree with that.
Nearfield.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with what you're saying about not assuming that it's going to be perfect, because the furniture will also have an effect on it. It's like in car audio when you put a subwoofer behind the trunk. I'll do this later. When you put a subwoofer behind the trunk wall, that rear seat will kind of act like a bandpass filter in some regards.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it will do certain weird things to the response, and then if you lay the seat down, you'll see and hear a very noticeable difference between the sound. So yeah, but I get where he's coming from, that if you put the subwoofers closer to you, you don't have, especially with 5 of them.
Those monoprice slim subs are not the.
Do they not go that low?
So monoprice is tricky, right? Because there's monoprice and there's monolith.
Yeah.
All the monolith subs, pretty beast. A lot of the monoprice subs, I don't know.
Yeah.
You got to be careful with some of those because the price is low and the performance is also not low that high. So
yeah, that's true.
Low. It's low. Sometimes the performance is low because it's a tiny little slim sub, man. I mean, it's like this. It's like this.
They're inexpensive.
To go underneath.
I mean, with shallow subwoofers, you have to spend money to get into good engineering. I mean, that's the truth of the matter too. There's a lot of money to be made in that market, especially from the automotive standpoint, but more so lately in the past few years for the home audio market too, because there's a lot of people who have smaller rooms, or they don't want, subwoofers to look like big old pieces of furniture, or they have apartments, things of that nature. So they're becoming more and more popular. So there's more money spent on engineering in that regard. But there's also still a whole lot of what I would call classic type slim subwoofers that have been out for 5-10 years that are using older technology with the motor and the inductance shorting coils and things of that nature. So they just don't perform as well. And so that's one thing you have to be careful of too when you get into shallow subwoofers is, trying to make sure that you're buying from a reputable brand that has up-to-date engineering. Not to say that Monoprice doesn't, but when you're talking about low cost, especially shallow subwoofers, you're probably going to get very low performance overall. Most of the time, you're going to be hitting 40 hertz if you're lucky. There's no way you're really going to get 30 unless there's a lot of room gain, and that's relative to the placement. 50 hertz is usually where they start rolling off at, and that's generalized statement for the majority of all these slim subwoofers, and that's for home and car audio. So yeah.
So I'm speaking specifically of I'm not sure which slimline sub you're talking about, but let me just show you something here. Window, boom, share. So this is a Monoprice one that I'm seeing, SSW 8.
Yeah.
Right. You see how it looks, right? Boom.
Is that sealed too?
I think it has a port on the side actually that they might not be showing. But look at this.
About port chuff.
Look at this. That's one that I reviewed. Very similar in style.
Yeah.
They are what they are.
Yeah.
Now, if you can't catch the show, we do have an audio version at anchor.fm/daily HiFi. So make sure to go on over there if you like to listen to the show.